And good morning, everybody. Nice to have you here. It's Coffee and the Panel Discussion Show. Dave Richards here with you in studio. And, best laid plans. Last week, our friend John Ward says, I can't come in on Monday. Could I come in another day? I said, yes, you can come in on Tuesday. We asked the Tuesday folks to move to Monday, and John's not here. So I don't know what's happening with that, folks, but we do have Alan LeClaire, Woonsocket School Committee member running for re-election, coming in at 8:30. Could be a rather dull half hour, or maybe I could make it interesting. If you have something interesting that you'd like to hear about, know about, or whatever, perhaps I'll be able to hit it for you. Or maybe John will be. It's just being delayed. Usually he will phone ahead if he's going to be delayed. But we noticed that the traffic is picking up on all the roadways because of the, and I'm looking out the window right here, and we see ever so many more cars than we had seen before. And this is where the kids start getting back to school. We're pretty excited about that when we're kids. It gets to be just another thing that we do when we get older. Maybe you weren't paying attention. You're thinking, oh, no, it's not Labor Day yet. We are so far away from Labor Day. We have another whole weekend before Labor Day weekend, and yet they're still going back to school. Oh, they do it in Florida. Yeah, but they get out in May. So I don't know. It's a toughie. Gas prices went up this past week by a dime. I know we are about the luckiest people going here on Park Avenue. We have two gas stations here on Park Avenue. There's Sam's, and across the street there's the Gulf. And Sam's always been very careful about the prices. He puts them up, he takes them down, he puts up whatever he paid for his gas. He puts the price out there based on what he had to pay for his gas. And that's pretty good. You know, he's in the neighborhood over here. But across the street, they match Sam's prices. And I'm sure they'd love to have higher prices. But they match Sam's price because they're right across the street from each other. And so right now I think we have 387 on Park Avenue. If you're looking for a nice tank of gas, I don't care which one you go to. I'm just saying, but that's what we have. You'll go other places, even around the city, and see it higher. They say that the average for regular at the pump now is $4.04 per gallon, and that's 7 cents lower than a month ago. It's 10 cents higher than last week, and just over $1 higher than this time last year. Overall, Rhode Island's average gas price for the whole state is 5 cents lower than the national average. But as I say, we're doing pretty good over here. We're doing pretty good. 387 presently, unless they changed it in the last few hours. When I went by last night after my Rhode Island 250th meeting. Interesting things going on there, by the way, with the Woonsocket's observance of RI 250. We still have several interesting things coming along. We have a movie in the park coming up on Friday the 28th, which would be this Friday. Movie in the park. I was talking with Liz Kerrigan about it yesterday, and it's the Ghost Army movie that you may not have seen. Absolutely free. Come on in and enjoy it at River Island Art Park, because we won't be using it for Levitt, of course, because and so they're going to show it there against the big permanent building that we have, and you get a chance to see that hidden story that we weren't told when we were kids about it, but it came after I was an adult. We started learning about how Woonsocket really helped win the war, as it was Woonsocket that built all those inflatable tanks that they put out in the fields in England. And then when the spy planes came over to see what was going on, they reported back to Mr. Hitler that you wouldn't believe how many tanks they got there ready to come over across and beat on us. It was pivotal, that's for sure. So that's coming up. Then the next day is the Puerto Rican festival at River Island. Not River Island, I'm sorry, at World War II Park. I was there last night, and we're seeing a lot of, they're setting up for things. They had meetings and pacing things off and stuff like that. The Autumn Fest folks will be there at World War II Park, because that's where Autumn Fest is going to be in October. And they'll be doing the various things they have to do to get things started. You got picnic tables to prepare. You think it's just like, oh, let's just have a festival. No, man. I'll tell you, the Autumn Fest Steering Committee is busy practically year-round to be what you need them to be and to put on a great festival. Oh, looky here. John's here. Hi, John. How are you? Nice to have you. Nice to have you here.
I thought I wasn't going to be able to make it. Met with the
Oh,
contractor.
let me just get your mic a lot louder.
Oh,
Okay, go ahead.
Met with the contractor to get the materials he needed, brought it to the house, and now he has to go back and get his tools and his worker, and so he's not going to come back until about 10 after 9. So here I am.
Wow, that works out, huh?
Surprise, surprise.
All right. Well, that sounds exciting. New things at the house. Do we
Just
want to talk
handyman
about
type
them?
stuff work that we
Oh,
got
I
to get
see.
some things. A little closet needs redoing for the door, and just junk like that.
You'll have to tell me who you
complex.
use.
No permitting
I get
stuff.
behind things around here.
No.
There's the bulkhead I've been meaning to paint all summer long. I haven't gotten to it yet.
Oh yeah,
You
I
know,
did that. I went
some
out
of the
and
shutters.
I was hosing out a an area in the yard just this morning, and I noticed I'm looking at a piece of decorative work in the yard, and I thought I have to paint that before the fall.
Yeah, I got a couple of shutters, and I want to get that taken care of on the bulkhead. It's just aging out,
Yeah, it happens.
and you got to slap another coat of paint on it. It's just
Right.
normal stuff. But
So
and
I'm
it's-
here.
Yeah, so there you go. I'm glad you're here. School's starting again. School zone cameras are in my news this morning.
Not in one socket.
Right, not in one socket, but in Providence, Pawtucket, Warwick, North Kingstown, Newport, Middletown, East Providence. They're so proud of them. And there's a whole group of people that think that we should have them here. In fact, they want to see school zone cameras and no flock cameras. There's a number of people who have said that at city council meetings.
Which is interesting. You know, part of the national problem with flock are two pieces. One is bad actors doing the wrong things with the cameras.
Of course, New
And
Bedford.
frankly, I think that's one of those things there should be no second chance on. If you get caught doing that as
You're
a police
done.
officer,
Fired.
you're not a police officer.
Right.
You don't belong there.
Take your badge,
You're
take
now
your weapon.
you're now a criminal, basically. The second thing is Flock has been using AI to modify and improve the product and the service. And I've noticed there are websites where you can go have, I
Right.
think it's like haveibeenflocked.com.
Yeah.
And it will, if your registration was picked up as part of a big investigation, even though you were not targeted, it'll show up, which
Yeah.
means the information is getting out there into the public domain and can be a problem and an invasion
move.
of privacy. It's a bad choice on their part to make it that public. I thought it was
So
part
they
of
cut their own throat then.
I thought it was part of a closed network
Right.
that would be limited to strictly
Only to other
police.
law enforcement that was using
Exactly.
Flock. If you were in the club, you could use somebody else's
And
cameras.
that's what was sold to us in Woonsocket when I was on the council.
Yes.
Is they're going to use this, and they'll be connected through the state police in Cranston and all the other these communities, and they will be sharing it with them. But there was
Right.
never an indication that it goes into the cloud somewhere for somebody
Right.
to access. And I have a real, as much as I defend flock cameras for the good they do with identifying, locating, and apprehending criminals.
Me too.
If they cross that line, and I think they have,
Yeah.
they have to find a way to step back and fix it, or they're
Well,
gone.
how do you fix trust?
Well, you don't. That's
That's
the
a problem.
That's the problem.
We came in wary, trusted, and once the trust is violated, how do you get it back?
You don't.
The
You-
damage
well,
to this company is
it takes a
probably
long
insurmountable.
And, well, I mean, I'm sure there are state legislators that will be thinking about putting in legislation to restrict the use of the information, which may be helpful in establishing sufficient guardrails to do what we just described, which is limited access to law enforcement only. But the problem there is the public, I hate to indict unions, but the union leadership will not tolerate strong punishments for violations because they want to protect their members. And sometimes they protect them to the detriment of the system. And so I'm fearful that if they introduce legislation that would have strong punitive action against those who violate, as well as guardrails for the software provider, that it will be watered down to accommodate the bad actors.
Everything gets watered down before
course.
it gets approved, because that's part of the negotiating process and
Oh, I know.
gathering support and votes
I
and
know.
things
The
like that.
question is- the
Because
question
here
is-
in Woonsocket, our police chief actually examines the logs for flock himself.
Mm-hmm.
He pledged that to us. Says, if anybody's trying to get away with anything, I'm going to know it. And I'm the guy who can do something about it. So I think that we're doing it fine here in Woonsocket. But,
I
but
think
what
so- I
happens
think
now
so,
when
too.
Flock, when this thing hits their servers, and now it's being put out there for people to look up on the web,
That's not good.
right?
Yeah, and there's a lot of trends that are going on now that this campaign season nationally. I mean, just with, I don't know what your feelings are about data centers and their necessity for AI, but there's many people who think this objection, overwhelming objection, comes very much from China because they're trying to gain dominance. One way to do it is slow down the United States. And frankly, I heard the congressman that covers the area my son lives in Loudoun County, Virginia, the congressman representing that district was on a national program saying that the electric bills have gone through the roof since they put in all the data centers, and Loudoun County is one of the most densely populated
To say
by
nothing
data
is
centers.
if you have to get memory for your computer.
But
All
I
the
asked
chips are
I
going
asked
to
my
those
son
places.
that, who works for an international consulting firm, has multiple computers, high-end computers in his house, works for them at work in Loudoun County. I said, how have your bills and your access been? Have they gone up like this guy said? He said, I haven't noticed it, no. He lives right there. He's across the street. I can see 4 data centers from his house. It's like, he said, the guy's being political. He's not being real. Because he said his electric bill hasn't gone up much at all in the last, he's lived there for 15 years.
Lucky. Not so here in Rhode Island.
Well, why would anyone live in Rhode Island if you had to use electricity? I mean, we are the 3rd highest increase in electrical rates in the last 10 years
It's so
in
bad.
the country.
It's so bad that challengers for state office, who have no possible way, because their office doesn't have any influence in the matter, are using it as a campaign football.
Sure.
Higher I'm going to stop all these high electric rates. And you're running for lieutenant governor. Right, sure you are. You're going to do write a nasty letter.
It's like council candidates in Woonsocket solving the housing crisis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
sure. Go
there you
ahead.
go.
Have fun.
I know what you mean.
Good luck with that.
Right. Or school committee candidates, and we have one coming in at 8:30. We have Alan Leclerc coming in.
Oh, okay.
At 8:30, he wants to talk about it's been tough because we got to get him on a day off because he works.
Yeah.
But we finally got our schedules synchronized. He'll be at 8:30, and we've given all the school committee people half an hour to listen to what they have to say, and because we really care about our school department. And today, it's with things going back to school, we get an update from Alan probably on how those layoffs worked out, because we know that they reversed many of them.
Yeah, reverse, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if they reversed all of them. I got to ask him that, because at the beginning of last Wednesday's school committee meeting, there was one employee that came up to speak for good and welfare, and she was asking to be rehired, and I don't know if she was, because later on they had a vote on it.
Yeah, I don't know, because that's when they were supposed to finalize their budget finally, right? And
Yeah, that's the final.
do the callback. Right.
Yeah, until the next emergency comes along. Right. So
Like I heard last night is being discussed to have the school department cough up some money towards the $800,000 of auditing and accounting bills that we've paid over the last couple of years for the services of a outside consultant, plus
Yeah.
the $500,000 we spent on the 2023 audit.
And, well, I know that, well, first of all, they ain't got the dough. But besides that,
No, that's why.
but besides that, if they had the dough, I can imagine the debate going along the lines of, we didn't mess it up. We kept our books in order. You're the ones that had a problem on the municipal side. We gave you true numbers, and you couldn't keep it right. So why are we paying for your hospital bill to fix up your numbers?
Yeah, and it could be the ask is going to be a reasonable ask. I don't know what the ask is going to be. It's just.
I heard also that they, well, it's 8:15, so let's stop right there.
Okay.
And we'll pick up fresh after the break is over. Time for us to take a little break here on Coffee and having a little bit of fun. John's here. Alan's coming in just a few minutes. Stay tuned to Coffee and on WOON AM and FM radio and on Woonie TV.
ON 1240.
Every fall, a kingdom appears between Providence and Boston. Knights, fire eaters, and turkey legs you'll need both hands for. King Richard's Fair. Weekend September 5th through October 25th in Carver. Tickets online at kingrichardsfair.net.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
We are local and live at 99.5 FM. And we're back. John Ward's here, and the rest of that. I was going to say before the break, and I didn't want to get behind because we have to hit the bottom of the break dead on so that we have proper timing for the candidate. But the deal is talking about paying your fair share, and of course the city wondering whether or not the school committee could help out with their remedies and getting their audits together. But the school committee in Woonsocket, I overheard in a school committee meeting, the school department pays for the school resource officers, otherwise known as the cops that are in the school
Right.
buildings. And in other communities, the municipal side
Municipal
pays.
And as I said, in Lincoln, when I was working there, the town's budget would carry the SROs in the budget. And as to the audit, splitting the cost, when we would go to bid, we would get bid responses where we were asking for a separation of the bid price for the municipal side of the audit and the school department impact of the audit. And so the school department would have a cost for their audit service as part of the annual audit built right into the bid, so they knew what their cost was going to be going in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I did not see the bid that came in from CBiz for the 3 years that they'd be working on soon, to see if it was broken down with a fixed amount for the school department and a fixed amount for the city. But the $500,000 thing, see, the $500,000 thing, I was there when we awarded the contract to Markham, and that was known. When you look at their proposal, there was no price in it because they had no idea what they were walking into.
Exactly, right.
And we had no idea
We
how to
can't quote the
quantify
job.
it or evaluate the problems, and there was nobody on staff that could truly do that. So it was come in and do what you have to do to get it done. And so to that end, I would attribute the previous administration not only costing us all that money in those valuation issues that ran up to almost $10 million of cost to the city, but I would attribute at least $350,000 of the audit cost for 23 to the problems created by that administration and the things that were being done wrong and the mess that was being made of the books.
I see.
It's tragic.
Well, it is, but we're doing something about it, isn't it?
Slowly but surely.
I have the same attitude about it I have when people in other states say, "Oh, gee whiz," when you have a governor goes to prison or something like that. They call up and they chide you and they say, "Oh," and I say, "Hey, listen, we put our crooks in jail. We remove them from the situation, what do you do with your crooks? You just leave them there. It's that's my attitude over
nationally,
the
for the
whole
most-
general idea of things that go wrong during administrations, politicians that end up in trouble, and that sort of thing like that. We're working forward.
For the most part, the crooks go
We
to
are.
jail across the country. The crooks go to jail across the country for the most part. There are some that they just
Well, I
slither
don't call
up
and give them a
don't.
hard time about it.
Well, I mean, look at what finally is catching up to Eric Swalwell, where he was having a relationship with a Chinese spy. He was assaulting women while he was a congressman. He's been charged now with
Now I remember who
all
you're talking
kinds
about.
of sexual abuse, and he was so arrogant when he was in Congress, and so easy to criticize others and try to paint them as wrongdoers while he was doing anything but the noble thing as a congressman. That kind of hypocrisy, you really want to make sure it gets dealt with properly.
Here's another topic that could create a little discussion. It says here from the Rhode Island Secretary of State online tracker. We checked that, and a total of nearly 3,200 people have already cast a ballot since last Thursday.
Well,
Early voting is on, and it seems to be strong, at least for the first 2 days.
I would think there's some people that take advantage of it quickly. I think if it was done, I just don't see 20 days as necessary. I mean, to me, the week before the election's plenty.
Right.
I don't get the novelty of this because I voted early the last few elections, and I go in there and I'm one of maybe one or two people, myself or two people, in there at any one time. So even at 3,200 statewide, that's probably no more than one person every 15 minutes in every town hall and city hall in the state. Because
Well,
realistically,
it's more than double the number for the first 2 days back in 2022, the last 4-year cycle.
okay.
More than double the number for
But-
the early
but
voting.
Early voting was fairly new back in 2022. Many
It was the
people
first
probably
time
didn't even know
because
about it.
it was put in after the pandemic.
And many people probably didn't even know about it.
Yeah.
So-
I still can't do it. I was
No.
at City Hall
My
for a
wife's the
meeting
same way. She
yesterday.
said, my wife's the same way. She said, no, I vote election day because I want to see what's going on.
Exactly. I want to hear the debate. To me, the lively debate of issues and ideas and things like that is vital in decision making. And I don't want to make a decision before it's time. I will wait until all the information is in to make a decision, or until I must because a deadline is approaching.
I have to ask, do you ever go in and look at a ballot and specifically vote for, not for someone as much as you are voting against someone?
Well, let me think about that for a minute. Have I ever, you asked? Well, yeah, I guess so, but not intentionally.
Generally, it happens
used-
in a primary.
when
where
you're voting for things like city council where there's multiple seats to be filled, and you vote for any 7 in that case or any 5 or whatever, then when you're making your votes, sometimes it is, no, I don't want this one, so I'm going to vote over there even though I might be ambivalent. But I know I don't want this person in that chair. So to be honest with you, I suppose I have without intending to do it.
See, I did intentionally, and I can think of one election where it worked for the way I would hoped it would work, which was when Ed DePreet was running. The Democrat primary was Anthony Solomon and Joe Walsh.
Yeah.
And Joe Walsh was a very strong, well-known mayor from Warwick at the time, and Anthony Solomon, I don't believe, was the treasurer yet. Maybe he was.
Yeah, well, you
No.
might be right about that.
He
I don't
wasn't
think he
treasurer
was.
yet. And so though I had been a Republican at the time, I disaffiliated early enough so I could go vote in the Democrat primary to vote for Anthony Solomon because I thought he was a weaker candidate against Ed DePreet than Joe Walsh would be. And so I wanted Joe Walsh to not be nominated, so I went in and voted for Anthony Solomon to vote against Joe Walsh. So then he
That's
ended
why
up,
you're not getting
Solomon ran
Christmas
against
cards from
DePreet,
Joe
and
Walsh
then,
anymore.
Then I went in and voted for DePreet when the election came. So that's what I consider voting against someone to try to swing. And I think there'll be people who will be voting for McKee or Folks, trying to decide who is the better candidate, the weaker candidate maybe, against the person they want, whether it's Gokian, Polino, or Block. You do something to try to affect the opposition.
Yeah, that's possible. It's possible, and that was the big argument of not letting people cross to another party for
trying to
primaries.
Well,
Because, then there can be, negative voting.
Now, as a disaffiliated voter, I can vote in any primary I want.
Unaffiliated. Unaffiliated voter. Me too.
Yeah.
Very, very pleased about
Pick a
that.
primary, vote in it, and walk away and not have to fill out paperwork.
I still wish I could vote in both. But I understand why I can't, because a
Well,
primary is a function of the
If you do
party.
that, you get a jungle primary like they have in California, where
Yeah.
everybody's on the same ballot and you're picking the top two to run in the final election, which is a runoff, not really a primary.
And you talk about a fight. That is a fight.
That's why they call it a jungle primary.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, I thought it was kind of interesting that the early voting would be so strong. I just can't do it.
There's another story out there I saw this morning about Providence enrollments and registrations for voting is way down.
Oh,
For
really?
the city of Providence. Apparently, though their population has gone up by 5,000, the number of active voters has dropped by 11,000, and that came out of the Secretary of State sent out mailers across the state, and if they were sent back undeliverable, those voters were listed as inactive. Because they're not tied to the address that they have on their last registration. And so they actually dropped 11,000 active voters that they suspect may
That's
simply
routine,
be people
actually.
who had to move because of rents or had to just simply moved. And so the mobility...
They didn't keep up their registration.
The mobility of the big cities oftentimes will do that. I would think the analysis of Woonsocket may show a similar thing, where you've got a decline because of voters who have had to relocate and didn't send their information through to the Secretary of State or come to City Hall to change their address.
You saw what happened last Thursday in New Bedford. You never had to worry about that, did you? Because you were city council president. They had the meeting and they were going to talk about the flock cameras, because New Bedford is where they caught the officer doing something wrong. And
Got rowdy, and they had to
it got
close the meeting
wicked
down.
rowdy. They couldn't conduct the meeting, and they just adjourned the meeting. That was it. Everybody go home. And tonight is the makeup.
I don't think it'll be any better.
Yeah. You think there's still going to be?
Apparently, when trust, as you say, trust is violated, people don't take to it very well.
Yeah. And well, we're coming down to the end of the hour. I was disheartened to see, because you always hope that somebody will, when they get sick, they get better. But Nancy Bouchard passed away
I saw that in the
last
breeze
Friday.
yesterday.
I didn't know that she passed away Friday. I only knew that she'd passed away when I got the obituary yesterday.
Oh, I'm sorry I didn't share it with you. I got a call myself over the weekend from
Yeah.
Roger telling me about it. And yeah, it's sad. She did a lot of good things in her life.
She did.
I love
she
the
was
part
very
about the
active and
beautification
quiet,
that she was
but a
doing.
hard-working lady.
Beautification that she was taking care of for
And
both
that's a
Ellie
thankless
Langford
job, isn't it?
administration. It is. It's a purely voluntary thing, really, that you just have to love devoting the time and effort to it.
And then anybody who could chair the Autumn Fest parade for more than 1 year has my admiration, because I did it 1 year and 1 year only.
But there have been a few people that have done it multiple years, haven't there?
Yeah, oh yeah, there have been quite a number. One comes to mind right away is Diane Pickard, Roger's wife. And when I got it to do it, she helped me out tremendously. She was amazing. I'll never ever forget how helpful she was to me. And she wasn't the chair anymore, but she just, I could see Dave's a little over his head here. So she helped out a lot, and that was really great. So, but anyway, Nancy was very sorry about that, and our condolences go out to Dick and the rest of the folks at the other station. We have to take a break right now, and it is time for us to have a message from Mattress Warehouse of Providence. Oh, listen to this one. The Mattress Warehouse Labor Day Super Sale. It's going on now. You can save up to $900 on adjustable mattress sets from Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, and Stearns & Foster, plus 0% interest financing and free next-day delivery at Mattress Warehouse of Providence. Mostly sunny skies today with a high of 78 degrees and a calm wind. Tonight, mostly clear skies, overnight low of 58. Wednesday's weather, increasingly cloudy with a high of 81. Thursday, partly cloudy, high of 80. Thursday night, some rain. Friday, there's a chance of showers and thunderstorms, 50% possible, partly sunny skies and a high of 81. Saturday, mostly sunny and 79. Sunday, sunshine and 81. And on Monday, mostly sunny skies, high near 84 degrees. And presently outside our Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio here at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street in Woonsocket, our temperature is 68 degrees on its way to 78. Whether you own a restaurant or an auto repair shop, you need as many customers as you can get. Every business does. Don't limit yourself to one newspaper. Get the power of 2 daily newspapers for the price of 1. The Blackstone Valley's Call and Times deliver customers from all over the valley with just one phone call. Phone 762-3000 for twice the effectiveness, over twice the area. The Call and the Times.
We all know that Rhode Island has a hands-free law for cell phone use. Did you know that a new distracted driving law prohibits other use of a cell phone while driving? No texting, no surfing, no selfies. Only mounted devices may be used and only for navigation. As always, the use of any mobile device is prohibited for drivers under 18. Make safe driving your only distraction. A message from the Rhode Island Broadcasters Association and the Rhode Island Police Chiefs Association.
ON Radio, ON Worldwide.
Well, alrighty, we're back here on Coffee and on ON Radio and TV, Wounded TV, and keeping with our theme today, our next guest on Coffee and has not arrived yet. Hopefully they'll be here shortly, or at least phone in if that's necessary. So we'll see how all that works out. In the meantime, John Ward is here, and he's always interesting to talk to. It's one thing you can never say about John Ward. He's always interesting to talk to. Reverend Monsignor George Frappier passed away at where was it? Saint Antoine Residence. Now, there's a name that I think everybody's heard.
Oh, yes.
This guy, did everything. I read his obituary. It ran 4 minutes this morning. I didn't know what I could leave out.
Well, that's the thing. You really can't.
And so much of it is local.
I know the few times, the couple of times now, I've read an obituary. It's been, what do I leave out? You really don't want to leave anything out.
No, you don't. But it's my job to edit. So I did edit, because you have to edit for radio. For instance, we usually do not include the names of spouses when we mention the children of somebody who passed away. We edit out the spouses because it gets to be too many names and people's brains can't follow along on radio. They can do it, and that's why at the end we say, for the full, it's been edited. For the full thing, go look it up at valleybreeze.com in our case. And seriously, a very, 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 very difficult choice to make sometimes, but there you go. The National Park Service turns 110 years old today.
Oh, well.
You might have an opinion about this.
My brother Bob does not turn 110 years old today. I don't know what he turns. Let me see, 1960 maybe? So he'd be maybe 60.
Hard to remember?
Yeah.
I was the oldest of 6, and to tell you the truth, I don't remember all the ages of all.
There's so many that I have to go to we actually have a family spreadsheet that's got all of
really?
My brother Vinny puts it together every year, and it ends up having everybody's name and address and all of that stuff.
Well, that's nice.
And so we've got literally.
It's in your phone.
Every member.
I don't think we're getting a picture of that.
On the phone.
That's good because we don't want to.
let me see. Bob was 19, I think he was 1960. No, 1959. So he would be 67 years old today, which means I believe he would qualify for full Social Security at this point. But he served his career in the Navy and got an engineering degree and went to work for an engineering firm. He lives in upstate New York, so I don't think he's tuned into OWN this morning.
Probably not.
And
He could if he was motivated.
he could if he was motivated.
I mean, if you'd
Yeah.
slipped him a note saying, I'm going to be on the radio this morning.
I did not do that. I just wished him a happy birthday.
There you go. So the National Park Service turns 110. The point of me bringing
Good for
that
them.
up is that to celebrate, they're going to let you in to your national park, which your tax dollars pay for, without charging you an additional fee
Well,
to go through the gate. I never thought they should.
well,
I always resented the idea that
There's-
they would charge you admission to something you owned.
it's, yeah, I get the argument, but there are, just owning it doesn't maintain it. There's a lot of maintenance involved in national parks. There's a lot of things that have to get taken care of. And I know my sons both, when the opportunity arose several years ago, they bought lifetime passes. And so
Oh,
you could at the time, it was a one-time event. I don't even know if you can do it now, but then they were available.
they're trying to raise some money
And
Congress wouldn't give them.
both their families love to use national parks because Chris at the time had been assigned out in California later, and there's a lot of national parks out there to head to. And Pat loves to go to national parks with the kids, and they live not that far away from Shenandoah and other places out in Northern Virginia and Western Virginia and West Virginia. So there was a lifetime pass that was available, and because their families were young, they got them. But yeah, there's maintenance costs and there's salaries to pay, and so I guess there's a possible justification for charging
Yeah.
those people who actually put wear and tear into the parks, as opposed to you and me, who maybe only go there less than 10 times in their lives.
Right. So am I bad because I resent it?
No,
Oh, okay.
you're a citizen.
That's, I have an opinion.
You have an opinion. And we have a First Amendment, so we're all
There
set.
you go. I still just, I don't, never mind.
Of course, if you had to be critical of the government, wouldn't it be one to just say, if our Constitution was so great, why did they have to immediately pass 10 amendments to it?
Well, no, the basis
That was
of
part of the negotiation, I think, of getting it approved by
the
everybody.
base, yeah, it was. The basis, the skeleton, the concepts that were in the original Constitution were sufficient because it allowed for the adaptation with amendments.
Limited, yes, and it also allowed for limited federal authority, but not limited enough to protect individual rights, which is really what, or individual and state rights, which is what the amendments called for.
And what the Civil War was all about.
I mean, I love the 10th Amendment as much as I love the First Amendment, which is no power not granted to the federal government by the Constitution shall reside with the states or its people, or basically
Right.
that's the words.
Unless he
To
wants
me,
your
that's
voting
one of the
rolls.
most powerful ones that's never used in court cases and should be.
You didn't hear that. Unless he wants your voting rolls. All right. The Target store chain, I have a new story here, says that it has stopped selling a particular Halloween costume that was called offensive and hurtful to black people by black people.
And that was?
The retailers got its buyers, yeah, and the people manufacture things, present it there. They say, "Oh yeah, that'll probably sell."
I mean-
So they put it in the stores. Sometimes you buy a
Is
whole
it a
bunch of different
particular-
things.
Particular character?
The
or-
retailer didn't want to talk about it
Oh,
because it wants it to go away.
okay.
Because it thinks it's going to be held up for. In other words, it offended somebody, and it's mortified that it offended somebody, didn't mean to offend somebody, and wants it all to go away, so it doesn't want to talk about it. But anyway, they won't tell you, Target will not tell you, what exact costume it was.
Well, of
that-
course, if they did, somebody would start selling them by the hundreds within minutes. So.
But it was reportedly, according to social media,
Aha.
unauthorized sources say it was the Kids Glows Under Blacklight Circus Clown costume was offensive and hurtful to black people.
Kids glow under circuits lights costume.
Under Blacklight,
Blacklight.
Circus Clown. In a statement, Target said, quote, removing the costume is an important first step. The company's looking closely at how it happened in the first place and what needs to change to ensure it doesn't happen again.
How a costume of a clown could be offensive, whether it's lights up under blacklight or not, I can't even begin to imagine why that would be the case, or why that would be the actual costume. But, hey, in any case, I'm not planning to buy any Halloween costumes.
No Halloween costumes.
No.
All
I'm
right.
still traumatized by that scratchiness that those plastic masks caused on my nose.
Yeah, and trying to look out the
Try to
holes.
Scratch and see out the holes.
Yeah.
It was gross. And you'd sweat when it was warm out.
Well, you know, all that's going away. I don't know why they're getting
I
excited.
know, they just walk around with
Because,
bags now and collect candy.
well, it's all trunk or treats
Well, there's that
and
too.
parties.
Yeah.
There's so
No, they come
so
around
much
still.
momentum against the usual street marauding that you and I did growing up.
Well, there is still some street marauding. There's a lot of kids that still come around in certain neighborhoods. They come in minivans. There's a bunch of them that go up and down the side streets. And yeah, we hit them in our neighborhood. And the great ones are the little babies that are dressed up, and
Oh, yeah.
the young girls and young boys that are like under 8 that are just thrilled to be out there doing it because it's dark out and they got a costume and
Yeah.
everybody admires the costume. So that's the fun part of it.
What I used to love to do when the radio station was right next to where you live now on Getchell Avenue. In those days, of course, it was an office building. It was built onto a small transmitter building, but it was an office building.
No, it was built on a swamp is what it was.
It was built on the former dump for the city. That was the landfill. That whole thing,
I know.
Capwell,
It still
Cooper,
comes up out of the soil
Getchell,
in
all
my
that.
yard
Exactly, exactly. That's why the radio tower is not there anymore. When I bought the station, me and my close friends, in 1990, I knew that it had been a landfill, and I said the federal government could come in and put in test borings. They could do this, that, and the other thing. They could undermine the stability of the radio tower, because I saw what happened at Stamina, and I saw what happened in Forestdale. You know, so I'm saying, my goodness, we can't do that. So one of my first acts was immediately to move the tower someplace else, because it would be in a better place. But the building, you had the parking lot, and then you had a door that went in the side, and you could walk all the way
a
through the
long
building,
building.
with studios on the left and offices on the right, all the way through to the transmitter building. You could go through another door and out the transmitter building, or you could go out the front door, almost to the end, up to Dave Russell's office. Because it was a home run shot, we used to decorate the hall for Halloween,
have the kids come all
and
down the
announce on the air and allow kids in the neighborhood to come through the place and do the whole thing. And we had candy and treats and stuff like that for them before they left.
In one door, down the hall, through the hall decoration, and out the other door.
And out the front door, yeah. And then they could walk back down the walkway. That was so much fun. And I really wanted to do that again, but in Social Street you couldn't. It wasn't my building, and you couldn't do anything with it. This one is my building, but it's just too small, and it's not conducive to get people through.
You know, it's funny. We
and out
bought
again.
we bought our house in December of 1988, so
Yeah.
there should have been one Halloween or 2 Halloweens that the building was still there, and yet I don't remember
Yeah.
doing Halloween at the radio station.
Ah.
And we were only 3 doors down.
Right. Well, okay. If you had taken out stock in the companies making GLP medications, you'd be pretty excited about all the different things. GLP-1 medications now are being, and this includes your Ozempic, Mounjaro, Wegovy, Zepbound, stuff like that. And now they got pills too.
Yes. Well, I think Wegovy was the first one with pills, and now,
Ozempic, Wegovy was the first with pills.
The generic brands are now coming out with pills and with shots.
So the interesting thing about it is that everybody's wary when a new super drug comes along that says, oh, this is fantastic. What are the side effects? Because there's always going to be side effects. Are they benign? Are they easily adaptable? Or are they harmful down the line? You'll worry about that. And you try to trust your federal government in, reining in the horses to a quick trot so that they can see whether or not there's any imminent danger in authorizing these things to be used in people's bodies. But now they're coming up with, oh, it's good for weight loss. Oh, it's good for memory loss. Oh, it's good for this. Just everybody should be on GLP-1s.
Well, on Ethan Shore's publication that he's online with now is the Insider or the Local Insider,
Yeah.
whatever it's called. He did an article just last week that I noticed where a woman who had gone into the homeless shelter on Cumberland Street interviewed with him. And she talked about her recovery because she was in there and she was struggling with alcohol as well as her weight.
Right.
And she got on, they told her
And they
about a
said
program
it
to use
made it
GLP-1
easier
that was
for her.
not just for weight loss and diabetics, but in fact they were checking to see how it would affect your urges or your cravings for alcohol. Because
Right.
she would go to the store, use her money to buy alcohol, and drink it before she even got back to the shelter. And in fact, she found, and they found, that the GLP-1 was helping her with eliminating her cravings, and she stopped drinking. So she was able to relieve cravings for food and the alcohol using the GLP-1, and apparently that's going to become part of a study on GLP-1s and how it affects alcohol consumption among people who abuse alcohol. Interesting, I think, as a concept.
And not just for alcohol, for other substances that are being abused. So addicts, one of the unexpected side effects, people who are on needle drugs and things like that, it changes the way that you think. These GLP-1s, it changes the way you think. Basically, I know people have told me that you're just sick to your stomach most of the time, and you have no interest in eating, and you have no interest in doing other things.
Well, I will go into full disclosure and tell you that I take a Wegovy pill. And
Right.
I have lost close to 30 pounds since I started taking it.
Cool.
And it's not that it makes me feel sick. I'm not a big fan of taking shots, so I don't do the once-a-week shot. So I take a pill every morning. You have to take it what they call it a dry take. You take the pill dry or as very little water as possible, less than 4 ounces.
Really?
So I literally take a sip of water with the pill, and then I have to wait a half hour before I consume anything else, including my coffee that I get so desperate for. But the fact is, I have
So it
found...
doesn't eliminate your craving for coffee.
It eliminates my craving for food, and when you eat food, it very easily fills you up quickly. So your consumption volume goes way down. My urge to eat does not get triggered until, like now, I'm down to maybe 2 meals a day, and I can satisfy a craving with something like a banana that
Right.
I'm more than full. Whereas before, I have there's no cravings for salty snacks or bags of chips or anything like that. There's no nighttime urges, and it's just reduced my body's urge to have more food. And when you do eat it, it triggers a response in your digestive system to tell you you're full, you're all set.
Right.
Now, I don't know if that's something in my brain or if it's something in my gut that's doing that, but it works.
Some would argue it doesn't matter.
And I don't. It's not something that makes me feel sick. It just makes me feel different.
All right. Do you remember Shelley Fabaret?
I do.
Passed away at the age of
Yes,
82
I
now.
saw that, and then I saw how they offered some tributes around different
She did,
actors.
yeah. I didn't see her so much when on the Donna Reed show. It was not something that we watched in my house, so I didn't really see
Yeah,
it.
we didn't read that. Watch that much.
And of course, I knew her hit records, but I would follow up with her as an adult. She had a very, very well balanced look back at her youth, where she was so popular, and she said, "Well, we're glad we did it, and all the rest of that, but when you're going through it, it ain't the same." So she said, I was scared to death about singing, especially out live, because now the record company insists that you go out and promote your record by making appearances and singing your song. Scared to death by it. Had no interest in cutting the record in the first place. But Paul, that's Paul Peterson, the actor that played her young brother, had already done it. So she was now under pressure to do it herself. And like that. And of course her mom was in show business and that. So, you know, she was guided carefully through it, but she always had a very, very well focused on the whole thing. I thought that she used the fame that she got when she was younger to open a door, not to get her something, but to open a door so she could work for something. And I thought that's the best you could do.
That should be the best you should look for.
Well, we're a little late for our break. We'll take a little break right here. We'll catch our breath, and John can take another sip of coffee, and we'll be right back after these words.
OM 1240.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-922-1284. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-922-1284. 800-922-1284. 800-922-1284.
I am Paul LaValle, a Knight of Columbus with Woonsocket Council 113. We are hosting our annual seminarian dinner. Tickets are $20. It will be held at St. Joseph's School Gym, 1210 Mendon Road, Woonsocket, Rhode Island, October 17th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Menu consists of pasta and meatballs, salad, garlic bread, dessert, coffee, tea, and soda. Tickets can be purchased from any Knight of Columbus or by calling me at 401-651-5533. Thank you and hope to see you there.
We're local and live at 99.5. All right, we're back here on Coffee and John Ward's here with us, and we did not hear from Alan Auclair yet, so hopefully nothing has gone wrong. I know that he was supposed to be free. Perhaps he was called into work. These things can happen when you have a responsible position in a job.
Absolutely, that can happen.
But last Friday he says, I'm off on Tuesday, so we'll come Tuesday. And it didn't work out today, but that's the way it goes. You can't come now because I can't give you 30 minutes. So there you go. All right, we'll set up another day for Alan. Well, John, lightning round. There's a new study that shows a compound might result in burning fat without the muscle loss and could mean another way for obese people to lose weight. University of California at Berkeley. Study shows that a compound called TOFA makes the body burn more energy, activates genes, and has cells use fat that produce more energy.
TOFA.
TOFA, don't know what it means.
I just came with totally inappropriate use of the four letters, and so
all right.
I'm not going to say it.
Speaking of inappropriate, you'll love this one. Some parents at the Jesuit High School in Sacramento, California, want the Catholic Church and indeed the Pope himself to intervene and investigate the school's decision to admit girls. I knew I'd get a laugh out of that because what we went through with Mount St. Charles, which was basically painless.
There was one girl when I was a senior at Mount.
Yeah.
She was the first one.
Yeah.
And
it was fairly painless, wasn't it?
It was, but honestly, I'm sure the culture changed.
Oh, yeah.
When it started coming. And to be very frank with you, being in an all-boys school, I don't think, for me, was best for me. I think many people, it's good for them. And, of course, being an all-boys school, you have to remember that its origins was that it was oftentimes like a boarding school for parents who
Yeah.
had kids that they wanted to keep out of trouble.
Yeah.
Put them into the control of the brothers, and they would
Those
discipline
were
them
the-
well.
Those were the motivations for a lot of people that went them out in the early years.
Yeah, back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, absolutely. Even into the 60s, I was there with boarders.
Yeah.
And I was
It's
there
what
when
you
the
could
first
do
girl
before
came
you
in.
sent them to the army to get rid of them. So
but-
anyway,
but yeah,
they're all
that's-
upset over there in California.
And they
That's in
may
Sacramento.
need to learn that it's probably best if they just do it.
The world needs a boogeyman, so here we are again. We've got Ebola out there in Africa, and Pope Leo came up and said, "Hey, what's wrong with the rest of the world here? You're not helping out with the Ebola problem there in Africa." And
What would the good Pope want us to do?
um,
Send
he's,
them money,
he's
or-
waiting for the international community to do something about it.
Oh.
I didn't understand the story when it came across. It was
Well, I
a
know this-
comment that he made
this-
during his usual addressing the folks
Yeah.
in St. Peter's Square last Sunday, and now it's becoming a news story.
Well, I think it's probably came from the fact that apparently this Ebola outbreak is one of the worst they've ever had.
It is.
And there are more people dying.
Statistically.
Yeah, statistically, it's one of the worst ones they've ever had.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're waiting for the international community. I'm interested, actually, in
The flesh-eating bacteria in Florida.
what? Oh, yeah, that is interesting. I haven't even read anything about that except the headline.
Data from the Florida Department of Health. It's the third death in less than a month. They just had another one this weekend. Total cases continue to rise across the Gulf Coast region. The bacteria occur naturally in warm seawater, and most get sick from eating raw or undercooked shellfish. Cases tend to spike in Florida after hurricanes or other storms that leave standing water. They haven't had that problem recently.
Well, if it's about the temperature of the seawater, they'd better get ready for more because
The bathtub is getting warmer.
the bathtub that they call the Gulf of America these days is getting
Yeah.
warmer. And,
It is.
You know, my wife just pointed out how high our electric bill was, and I didn't say it to her, but I will at some point, that, you know, they did say in a published article that this July of 26 was the hottest July since they've been keeping records in the
Which is
United
back
States.
in the 1870s.
Which is back in the 1870s. That's a long time. That's a lot of Julys, and this one was the hottest. So
Yep.
our central air conditioning system was put into overdrive this year.
Yeah, it was. It was tough. I keeping all my Silicon friends cool and happy was a chore for a few weeks there, and in June as well.
Yeah, June
Yeah.
was hot too.
Sure. Scientists are zeroing in, John, on a new way to destroy cancer by choking off the fuel tumor cells, the fuel that tumor cells need to take out their own trash. Virginia Commonwealth University announced this, that scientists repurposed an existing FDA-approved metabolic drug to starve tumors of a vital fat molecule. Without that specific fuel, the cancer cells' cleanup center winds up breaking down, and they end up killing themselves from within. It's a concept.
You know, I had heard about a doctor that has been doing the show with Chris Cuomo on News Nation about 6 months to a year ago, and he was talking about how they are coming up with targeted,
Yeah.
very targeted, specific, and I'm not talking about radiation and all.
No, yeah.
I'm talking about medication that is targeted to doing specific things that choke out and kill off specifically cancer cells. And this may be either from that or associated with it or related to it, but it's probably the most efficient way to take care of it. And good for them. I hope it works.
And finally, John, next time you drive through New Jersey, go around. Next time you drive through New Jersey, that just popped into my brain. Next time you drive through New Jersey, you must stop and buy a New Jersey lottery ticket, because New Jersey Lottery is launching the Bon Jovi-themed scratch-off ticket. New Jersey Lottery knows their players are all living on a prayer to win big. And so they're putting the new scratch tickets in, themed with Bon Jovi, famous New Jersey performer.
Can assure you
Did you?
that I won't be buying a Bon Jovi ticket. If they put one on sale with Frank Sinatra as the theme, or
Well, that could be Hoboken, New
Frankie
Jersey.
Valli's a Jersey guy, right? Who
That's
else?
right.
The Boss is a Jersey guy.
He certainly is.
Is
Yeah.
Billy Joel
Bruce
a Jersey guy?
Springsteen.
No, is he a Long Island guy?
Well, he's been living on
I mean, he's a
Long
Long Island guy now, but
Yeah.
was he a start out as
I
a
don't
Jersey
remember.
guy?
I don't remember.
There are plenty of Jersey guys, and Bon Jovi's not the one I think of mostly.
No. Not at our age. John, thanks for being here today.
Hey, glad I could make it.
And
I'll
in
see
a
you
few
again
minutes,
next
you have to
week.
go meet up with your contractor
Gotta go meet
and
up
begin,
with-
commence the excitement.
Not licensed work, just handyman stuff. That's little Target jobs around the house.
You got to
Nothing
shim a
big.
door, you got to change a hinge, stuff like that.
Just stuff like that.
Stuff that retired guys
Nothing-
like you just
nothing-
don't do anymore.
Nothing structural. I'm just an old man now watching it get done. And, oh, yes, I have to manage the dogs while they're doing the work.
Well, that's important, really, isn't it? Because they get them doggies, they get possessive about the inside of the house.
They get possessive and they get loud.
Oh dear. All righty. Well, good
I'm
luck
going-
on that.
I'm going to manage
Thanks.
the
And we will
dogs.
see you again next Tuesday.
Yes, they do that.
All right. As we made our changes, Monday switched to Tuesday, Tuesday switched to Monday. Tomorrow it'll be the usual cast of crew. They like to call themselves the Wrecking Crew. On Wednesday with Melissa Smith and Tim Draper will be here tomorrow for an exciting program. Joe's on vacation all week. Sorry about that. I'll be here too. All right. And meanwhile, if you missed any portion of today's program, pick it up on demand at WoonieTV.com or WinSoccerRadio.com. And coming up next after the news and sports, it's Gary Smith and the crew with another Do You Remember show. Yay! Make it a good day.